Okay. Let me check, make sure this is acting right, dog. Like, what the fuck? If anybody can see me, I'm trying to see what is up with the feed. All right, bet. Now we good. All right, now, all right. I don't know what was going on, man. I guess the Instagram feed was messing everything up, dog. My bad, my peoples. My bad, my bad. So, once again, like I said, it is your favorite businessman, CEO Rico on CEO Rico TV. What's the word? Yo, we in the building, man. We about to get things cracking. Having some technical difficulties, which I absolutely hate because it doesn't make for a good stream. I don't like that. So we about to get into it. First and foremost, let me bring this up and bam. So our very first topic for the night. We gotta have some conversations about Trump. So the pat over what was like a few days ago, uh Trump had an interview and he was on what was he on? I forgot what network it was, but it was a gentleman interviewing him. And one thing I like about Trump is my man's he's not like one, he's transparent, which we already discussed before. He's very transparent in regards to, letting the American people into like what's going on, what he has going on. It's not too much, everything is behind closed doors. So I really like that, and especially like just somebody getting into politics for real. It's eye opening. It introduces you to a lot of different things, letting you see what's going on, and then you of course you learn a lot from it. So in this, it was his 100-day interview. So it was the interview in the Oval Office. And I'm about to bring it up for y'all so y'all can actually see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, of course, if you're not really into politics, that's fine. However, I myself personally, I still encourage individuals to, still kind of like check it out, check politics out, because like I always say, politics is going to affect you one way or another. Whether, I mean, if you're a business person, it's definitely going to affect you in that regard. Even, of course, a regular citizen is definitely going to affect you. But business wise, it will affect you a lot because every decision that they make, my bad, because I hold on, y'all, because I'm doing a few different things too. So just rock with me for a second. But as a regular citizen, of course, it's going to affect you in a certain way because you vote, stuff like that. But on the flip side to that, as a business, everything dealing with politics is going to affect your business. Reason being, whatever is going on, whatever politicians, what they agree to, disagree to, whatever um I gotta stop saying whatever actions they take against other countries, things like that is going to affect you as well because it's always a cause and effect for everything. Also, too, don't let me forget. I got to respond back to some comments on one of my last videos. I didn't get a chance to respond to it, so I'll actually want to respond to it here. But let's get into this video right now. But don't let me forget about that, y'all.
Illegal crossings at the southern border have plummeted, a staggering decline. But there are questions about your methods.
To Elon Musk.
Did Doge go?
No, we don't want to hear all that. We're gonna pass the beginning because we want to get right into
Begin
it.
tonight with a look inside the Oval Office that Donald Trump has transformed.
Hello, everybody. How are you? This is the Oval Office. This is the Resolute desk, which is really something very spectacular. There's nothing quite like it. And they give you a choice of about 7 different desks, but this is the one I chose. Ronald Reagan had it.
No, I want to hear none of that.
To come in from prisons as you
Yeah, this is what we need to
into
get
your
into.
second term. So, what's the one thing, just one thing, that you think is the most significant thing you've done so far in these 100 days?
Well, I think maybe the border is the most significant because our country was really going bad. They were allowing people to come in from prisons, as you know, and you've heard me say it, but you've heard a lot of people say it. Prisons, mental institutions, gang members, murderers. We had many murders, 11,888, they think. Some murdered more than one person. So you had murderers coming in, you had everybody coming in, and not just South America, from all over the world. They were emptying their prisons into our country. And now it's totally closed down. And you've seen just yesterday, they announced 99.9%. Nobody thought that could happen. And it happened quickly, very quickly. And I think that's very significant. But we're doing other things that are very significant. Results will take a little bit longer because it's one of those, it's complicated. It's many years of trading abuse. We've been abused by other countries for years and years. They laughed at us. They thought we were stupid people. And we're fixing it, and I think that's going to be very, very important. But
We have a lot of ground to cover.
yeah, I would really say that the border is so important. Just
And
can't
we'll get there.
let that
Immigration,
happen.
huge,
Yeah.
and we're going to get there. But I want to start
Sure.
with the economy, the number one issue for so many people, for just about everybody. It's one of the main reasons that you're back in this office. And now we have this trade war with China that Moody's and other analysts say is going to cost American families thousands of more dollars per year. And there is a lot of concern out there. People are worried, even some people who voted for you saying, I didn't sign up for this. So how do you answer those concerns?
Well, they did sign up for it, actually, and this is what I campaigned on. I said that we've been abused by other countries at levels that nobody's ever seen before. We were losing $3 to $5 billion a day on trade. We were losing $1.5 trillion to $2 trillion a year, not sustainable. They were taking advantage of us like they've never. I could have left it that way, and at some point there would have been an implosion like nobody's ever seen. But I said, no, we have to fix it. I've wanted to do this for many years. I had the best economy during my first term. We had a tremendous economy, tremendous success, and we did tremendous numbers of tariffs we took in a lot of money from tariffs, China in particular, hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. We had no inflation, as you know. We had an incredible economy. We're given credit for a great economy. But I said, we have to fix this, otherwise it's just not self-sustaining.
But one of the things you ran on was you'd said you'd bring prices down on day one,
Yeah,
and that
and
it
I
would
have.
happen fast, and that it would happen fast.
I have.
Most economists will tell you that tariffs will raise prices. So don't your tariffs cut against that promise you made to bring prices down?
No, because I had massive tariffs on China, if you remember, in my first term, and we had essentially no inflation, like around 1% inflation, which is like a perfect number. And then when Biden took over, it went through the roof. It went to probably the worst inflation we've ever had. I mean, we had an inflation nightmare. Now, if you look at what's happening now, we're only there for 100 days, as you say. And in 100 days, we took over. We had bad inflation for 4 years, for 2 years especially 2 years of his administration. I would say record-setting like we've never seen. They say 48 years, the worst in 48 years. I say it was much worse than that.
Yeah.
Right. So now if you look at what's happened, energy is down. Gasoline hit $1.98 in a few states during the last couple of days. It was $3.50 and $4 and $4.50.
We're gonna play a little bit more, and then we're gonna actually like get into it and talk about it. But just want y'all to get like a feel for exactly like what they talking about and what's going on.
50 cents, but gasoline is way down. When I took over, you remember the big thing with eggs. They hit me the first week, eggs, like it was my fault. I said, I didn't cause this problem. This problem was caused by Biden. What's the problem with eggs? And they said, they've doubled. And well, eggs are down 87% since I got involved.
A lot of that is
And by
bird
the way,
All right, so hold on, y'all, real quick. So what's good, cuz? What up, though? I got a question for y'all. So, of course, during the pandemic, everything was basically like going out not out the window, but a lot of um products was coming off the shelves because everybody was scared. But my question is to y'all, was there really like a significant like issue when it came to eggs? Because I've seen like, I don't know if this is just like a talking point. I don't know if like this was like real suffering people was actually going through when it came to like the whole eggs thing. But it's like I keep on hearing people on, of course, the internet when they talk about these type of topics. They talk about eggs, like the price of eggs, like, oh my God, eggs are so expensive. Now, don't get me wrong. I did notice a difference in a particular type of eggs that I typically buy, because I typically like the pasteurized eggs or like the egglings best. But in large, I didn't see eggs being this astronomical price. And then on top of that, like, I mean, if you buying like a ton of eggs, then I would get it. But it's like if eggs only went up by like hypothetically, let's just say like $1.50. Did that really make a difference in the individual's lives to where it really like hurt them to where like American people are just complaining about eggs? Like I really want to know, like because sometimes it seems like when I hear certain stuff, it seems like maybe I'm out of touch a little bit. And I just be wanting to know, like, is this like a thing where everybody is like feeling the same issue? Let me know, because I don't know. So I just want y'all to tell me. Am I wrong or am I right?
And there were plenty of eggs for Easter, which we just went through. There were plenty of eggs for Easter. They were saying you won't have enough eggs for Easter. My secretary did a fantastic job on eggs. Groceries are down. Everything's down.
Okay.
Interest rates are the same. Interest rates should be down, but we have a Federal Reserve that wants to be stubborn. They want to be
All right,
cute.
we'll get to that. You said something a couple weeks ago that struck me. You said concerning the tariffs, which economists say are going to raise prices. You said, quote, hang tough. Yeah. It won't be easy. You said that to the American people. Is that what Americans should expect, some hard times?
I've said that during my campaign. Look, we won a campaign by a lot. We won all 7 swing states. We won the popular vote by a lot. You know, we had a tremendous campaign. I said all of these things during my campaign. I said, you're going to have a transition period. We've been ripped off by every country all over the world. They're laughing at us. They thought we were stupid people, and we were. And I said, that's not going to happen. We're not going to let that happen.
Hard times are ahead?
I don't think so. I think great times are ahead. Look, since I came in, gasoline is down, groceries are down, egg prices are down, many things are down, just about everything. You know, you don't have the drop in fuel and energy and oil like we did. I took it from maybe $3.20, maybe more than that, down into a much lower number. When you have that kind of a drop, you're not going to have inflation.
Not now, but it's the tariffs, right? We still have 145% tariffs on China. Your Treasury Secretary said we basically have an embargo on China.
Look, you're trying to say something's going to happen, Terry.
No, okay, well,
nothing's going to happen.
You know business.
Terry,
I want to ask you.
I do know business.
Yes, so 145% tariffs on China,
Yeah.
and that's good. Basically
That's
an
good.
embargo.
They deserve it.
It'll raise prices on everything from
it.
electronics to clothing to building houses.
You don't know that. You don't know whether or not China's going to eat it.
That's mathematics.
China probably will eat those tariffs, but at 145, they basically can't do much business with the United States. And they were making from us $1 trillion a year. They were ripping us off like nobody's ever ripped us off. And by the way, we have other countries that were just as bad. If you look at the European Union, it was terrible what they've done to us. Every country, almost every country in the world was ripping us off. They're not doing that anymore.
I want you to think about the boom that this country has had in small businesses, mom and pop Etsy stores, small businesses that became big businesses.
They haven't had a boom because of inflation.
Well, the boom was
inflationary boom. The people.
All right, let's pause it real quick. Actually, we probably gonna get off this in a minute, right? But what's interesting is every time that I see a reporter or somebody talking to Trump, right? Now let's get away from the fact of, whether you like them or you don't. Let's get away from that, because I want to let's look at our everyday lives, right? Now, we all know that during COVID, Trump was in office during COVID, right? Because I just want to have this conversation with y'all, because I want to make sure like I'm not tripping. I remember COVID hit, everything had to get shut down. they passed, what did they pass? I forgot what laws or whatever was passed, but Trump pumped a lot of money into circulation, right? Now, some people can blame him for the whole inflation because, of course, when you have that much money that flows into the economy, basically everything will get bought up. So then the feds, they like, yo, we got to get control of this. Let's raise them interest rates. So now it's gonna cost more for money. Okay, cool. So then stuff, we all looked at Trump like, all snaps, he gave us all this money. What was it? You had the PPP, you had the unemployment. It was a lot of money flowing. Biden got in office. Now, I don't want to necessarily do like this whole comparison, like, oh, Trump is bad. I don't want to do that. I just really want to talk about like our everyday lives because so many people paint Trump out to be this horrible person, and I don't see it. Now, let's get away from the emotional stuff because a lot of times when people come to the forefront and have the conversation, a lot of times it's in from an emotional standpoint, and I don't want to deal with that because we're grown adults, but for the most part, all the people that generally watch, we're all men, and as men, we don't need to be in an emotional state when we have real conversations. Now, Trump, from what I've been seeing, and when he talked about the gasoline, I remember that, bro. I remember the first time he was in office. Kid you not, this was the very first time that I seen gas prices drop below $2. So I know for a fact he's not lying there. I remember the gas dropped down to like 187, 197, something like that. And it was crazy because I was talking to my babe. I was like, gas prices will never drop that low. Like in the early 2000s, I was like, gas will never drop that low. And then it did. So I know he has something to do with that. Now, I've seen gas prices, they fluctuate or whatever, but in some parts of the states, not this my state, but in the country, he said, it dropped down like $1 and some change. Cool. I know eggs, because that's one of the topics that everybody wanted to talk about or have conversation with him about, how it was so expensive. Then it actually came out that eggs, the price of eggs increased because of bird flu, and bird flu, which means the birds got sick, which means it was a decrease in egg population, basically eggs being produced. So which that couldn't have been his fault. So you got that. Then all these different talk, like when they talk about tariffs, right? Let's have a quick conversation about that. Now you got to understand, there's going to be things that are being discussed that we as the American people, we're not going to really know about because it's kind of like that's not really our job to deal with. But once again, he's been transparent and he's been bringing us behind the closed doors to inform us and let us know what's going on. Now, when it comes to China, here's what I do know. For the people that's making an argument on China's behalf, I don't really understand that component because here's what I do know. One, China is basically our adversary. Yeah, we do a lot of business with them, absolutely. But it's like when people try to argue their position, it's kind of like, bro, you do know that the freedoms that you have here, you would like your whole world would be turned upside down if you went over to China and you attempted that. That's one. Like, free speech, all like that. They don't rock like that over there. As far as the income that you can make here, the businesses, all the opportunities that you have here, you won't have that over in China. You got to remember, like, there were videos that were coming out when Trump hit them with them tariffs, and those people were saying that their profit margins are so slim that they barely were making a profit. So they basically got slave labor over there. It's communism over there. Like they can't speak out, they can't do certain stuff. They gotta fall in line. And then you got people over here that's mad at the president because he's slapping them with tariffs. And then people are saying, well, everything's gonna cost more. Well, I I see uh, I look at it like this because I have to articulate it in a certain way, right? If things go up, let's say they go up, I don't know, let's say they go up 50%. Guys, realistically, y'all not buying stuff brand new as it is. And on top of that, if you got money already, you still gonna have money and you still gonna go out and buy whatever you want to buy no matter what. Because here's one thing we do know. Everything always increases. Everything always increases. No matter what we talking about, everything increases. You're gonna pay more over time, no matter what. Think about cars. Think about cars over the last 10, 15 years. You're not buying the same brand new car that you bought 15 years ago. You're not paying the same price today. Cars probably went up 10, 20, $30,000 from what they once was. So it's like when people try to make the argument of everything's gonna cost more, bro, everything's gonna cost more regardless. So it's like if his whole thing is he's trying to create an equal playing field when it comes to, trades with other countries, why is that necessarily a bad thing if he's for America? Like, that's one question that I really want us to, like, for somebody to answer. Why is it a bad thing that he's for America? Because if he creates opportunities for us to thrive and pushing other people out, how is that a bad thing and why are people against that? See, it seems like a lot of times when it comes to politics, people get their feelings involved so tough. And that's why I honestly believe, like, when it comes to politicians, we as people, we as the people who we elect these politicians, we put them in place. We need to start doing something to where we're either petitioning or something to where we can remove people out of office like that. Because we're not putting you in office to get into your feelings and then go on campaigns and just campaign against a certain individual. No, we put you in there to get a job done. We put you in there to fight on our behalf. Why aren't y'all doing that? My man's is literally in there, and he brought up the whole thing that, he said on day one you're gonna do this, this, and this. It's like, realistically, can you realistically expect for a dude to go into office and immediately get things done day one? I'm just saying, like, realistically speaking, because all of the presidents that have come before him, did they really just go right into the White House and instantly do everything that they said right away, or did it take them a little bit of time? Like, that's a genuine question, like, as adults, because it seems like when I hear people say some of the things that they say, it really doesn't make logical sense. Now, I'm gonna speak on another point. I also see that I don't know if it's mainly people's income base, like how much money they make or where they at status wise, that they tend to like certain people. And I say that because I see a lot of people on the lower end of life, they hate Trump. When I tell you, so many people, when they see like a Trump sign, when they see like a flag or somebody supporting Trump, oh, what? They support Trump. And it's like, well, damn, they can't support the person that they feel is best for them. Like, what's the real issue here? Like, I truly don't understand that. I really don't. And to me, my man's he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He even got the issue when it came to Ukraine, Russia. Did y'all know that Trump struck a deal with Ukraine to where we will have mineral rights, and by us having that, the war between Ukraine and Russia is now about to cease. Now, don't take my like literal word for it, like, or bam, that's about to, no, but in general, it's about to stop. And all the money that we sent over there to them, we're going to be able to recoup those funds now. So it's bringing more money back into the US. And would you also say that Trump brought a lot of investments back into the US? Because you got banks investing into the US, you got a lot of data centers that's investing into the US. You have Apple, which is about to, I think they spending I think they committed what was like 500 million or 500 billion to build here. And if I'm not mistaken, they're supposed to be building in Detroit. They're supposed to be building something in Detroit, if I'm not mistaken, but don't quote me on that. So if all these different investments is coming back into the US, why is it that we still see so many people, reporters, other politicians, whatever? Why do we see so many of them complaining and trying to paint this narrative as if he's the worst person ever, when you really think about it, bro, like if the economy is so bad, that means we need jobs, we need investments, we need money. Because once we get those, that's when we all as a people start to actually benefit from it. And it's like, it's like we're not even talking about like different talking points. I'm talking about like things I've seen in my own real life. I remember when Ford was about to send their jobs out of here. And Trump came in and he stopped them. He stopped them. This was during his first term. And I was shocked by it because I'm like, oh, snaps. Like, Dog just came in and just stopped Ford from sending their jobs overseas and they stayed here, which means people get to keep their jobs. So I just don't be understanding when people have, interviews with him and they trying to paint him out to be such this bad person as if he's doing like the worst job ever. But it's kind of like, how? I just don't understand that. So if any of y'all can like fill me in on anything, drop the comment, because I truly will want to understand and to see what I'm missing. Seriously. Because I just really don't get it. But we about to move on to the next part. Guys, I want to keep the shows, I want to say like an hour at best. It might go a little bit over, but I want to get in here, hit what we need to hit and get up out of here. But the next topic we got tonight, let's transition over. My man's Elon Musk. Elon Musk is leaving Doge. As always, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So we about to get into this. This one little clip really quick. It's definitely going to be interesting. He's leaving Doge. And here's another thing too. I want to know what those other politicians are going to say now that Elon Musk is going to be leaving. What are going to be their talking points of, oh, the billionaire is get access to your grandma's Social Security, all that stuff. I really want to know what they're going to say now that he's about to leave. But let's get into it.
Elon, I love the double hat, but he's the only one that can do that. Get away with it.
Well, Mr. President, they say I wear a lot of hats. It's true. Even my hat has a hat. The American people voted for secure borders, safe cities, and sensible spending. And that's what they've gotten. A tremendous amount has been accomplished in the first 100 days. As everyone has said, it's more than has been accomplished in any administration before, ever, period. This portends very well for what will happen for the rest of the administration. I think this could be the greatest administration since the founding of the country.
Well, we all want to thank you for your help. You really have sacrificed a lot. Been treated very unfairly.
Well, they do like to burn my cars, which is not great. Could be better.
But you have been treated unfairly. But the vast majority of people in this country really respect and appreciate you, and this whole room can say that very strongly. You've really been a tremendous help. You opened up a lot of eyes as to what could be done, and we just want to thank you very much. And you're invited to stay as long as you want. At some point, I guess he wants to get back home to his cars and his. You've done an incredible job. $150 billion. Think of that.
Yeah. It's 160 now.
Yeah, 160. They said, oh, it could have been more. And a lot of stuff is being worked on. That number could be doubled and even tripled. A lot of things are being worked on that we don't count yet because it's not quite there. But you've done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it very much, Elon.
Thank you. And it's also an honor to work with your incredible cabinet. I just like to say thank you, everyone. It's great to work with you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian.
So here's one thing too. Now, a lot of people were so upset that Elon was in office, and they said, nobody elected him and everything like that. Cool, I got you. But where my confusion comes in, that is, if you do a little bit of research, you'll learn that we have not been in a fiscal surplus since Bill Clinton. So it's been about 25 years since we've been in a fiscal surplus. We've been in a deficit this entire time. So my question to you would be, do you want people to constantly keep coming in into our house? This is where we live at. This is our house. Do you really want people to keep coming in, continuing to come in, and not change anything whatsoever on what's going on in our house? Like, is that something that y'all truly will want? Because we already know we have a tremendous issue when it comes to our fiscal budget. We damn near about to be bankrupt as an entire country. Now, I know some of you may not truly understand the severity of that, but my city, Detroit, we are the largest city in history to ever go bankrupt. So we've actually experienced the turmoil of that, to where our city literally, we're broke. Like, you go through the streets, everything fucked up, it's looking horrible, everything like that, right? Now, since then, once our city went bankrupt, it was kind of like we hit rock bottom, and it was only up from there. So now everything is completely different, because houses looking good, cities looking good, downtown is well, I ain't gonna say flawless, but downtown is looking great. It's a lot of investment that's been there, everything like that. But could you imagine our country going bankrupt? Like, it's like just the thought of that, and like when you start to see like history and like the downfall of like great empires, in my head, that's kind of like what that would look like. Like, it would be the downfall to a great empire. And it's like, if we go bankrupt, what does that now leave open for other countries that we're doing business with? Like, we kind of will owe them something, in a sense. You feel what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, why wouldn't you want somebody, and especially Trump and they call him his billionaire friends and like that. Why wouldn't you want them to come in and like try to do something? Because at the end of the day, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but if you already a billionaire, some people try to equate him to like stealing money or something like that. It's kind of like if you're already valued as one of the richest men in the world on paper, what are you going to get from so-called stealing money from other people that don't even have, that really ain't got a lot of money? What do you get? And that's a serious, genuine question. And I want to throw in this. Since Elon has been in Doge, why do I keep saying like it's Doge? The Department of Government Efficiency. His company, Tesla, not only has been vandalized, but they reported that the company has lost about 71% of profits. So while people are saying, he's the rich and bro, his company took a major hit by him coming over and helping the country, which means helping you. Now, I know that some people they fall into seeing what other politicians say, like your Bernie Sanders, like your Jasmine Crockett, like your AOC. They listen to them, and cool, I got you. But at what point do you go do your own research a little bit? Because what don't you think it would make sense, like, if they're mad at him and he's making money. Now, I'm not saying he perfect. I'm not saying that. But he making money and it's affecting the way they make money. Do y'all think that they'll be pissed off at them? Because like they going through everything and they cutting off certain stuff to where it's like, this is wasteful spending, this is wasteful, this is bullshit, this is bullshit. Get rid of this, and this. And then they no longer get their kickbacks or funding or whatever. Don't you think they'd be pretty pissed off about that? Like, because they literally shed light to so much money that was being wasted. And remember, the money that they're wasting and that they just like fucking off, that's money that you go to work for. So while you're at home struggling to pay your bills, and you got politicians sitting in your face talking about this some oligarchy shit and all these different things. Remember, when you pay taxes, that money, the tax money goes to them. So if you busting your ass 40, 50 hours a week and you barely making ends meet, and you got these people up, in the federal government or whatever, and they trying to campaign and say all these different things and how they need money, and oh, you need your social security and all like that. Remember, you pay for social security. And if you look at the projections, by the time you get to the retirement age, social security won't even be around no more. So if you really just take a step back and think about it, it's like, well, wait a minute. The country that we live in, because mind you, y'all 9 times out of 10, y'all motherfuckers not moving nowhere. Like, y'all not going to another country. Like, what country, I ain't gonna go into that. But y'all, 9 times, you're not going to another country. A lot of y'all don't even have a passport. So if our country is on the verge of potentially going bankrupt, all the money that you going out here and make, and they pulling taxes from your check before you even get it, and they taking your money and they sending it over to somewhere else, just handing that shit out willy-nilly, wouldn't you want somebody to do something about that? Or how about this? The migrants that were coming over, right? And we're not even talking about talking points and nothing like that. The migrants that was coming over, they were getting housing. We know this. Not only were they getting housing, whether, I don't even care if it was a little shack or whatever. It's a simple fact of you're paying for it. And you don't even have a say-so in paying for it. Then they were getting more food stamps than your grandma and your mama. And they ain't did shit but came over here illegally. So you think about it. You go to your granny house, Thanksgiving, whatever, and everybody got to chip in because, they don't got enough money, or they don't got enough money on their stamps to make it through the month or whatever. And then some motherfuckers come over illegally and they don't care nothing about you, but you still got to pay out of your paycheck to send it to them for them to get free fucking money that you worked for. You wouldn't want nobody to do nothing about that? Like, I want y'all to just think about that for a minute. You wouldn't want nobody to do nothing about that. Let's bring Elon Musk back up because he's about to talk about the fraud that was going on.
Tonight, our exclusive look into Doge. Elon Musk was nice enough to invite us into the Eisenhower building last night to sit in on his weekly 10 p.m. Doge meeting. Yeah, they usually meet at 10 o'clock. I'm almost in bed by then. We met.
The way he said it was like it was a bad thing. Like, at least they got a schedule. Just because I guess you usually in bed by then. Okay, well, you took your ass to bed then, or be there. Like, sometimes my thing is people be complaining about the dumbest shit or trying to make like a joke almost. It's kind of like, bro, you could have not went, but if you didn't go, you wouldn't have nothing to comment on. So how about you just shut the fuck up?
Met the whole crew, even big balls, and they showed us how Doge really gets done. We sat back, listened, and we learned a lot, and we hope you do too. Here's part one of our exclusive interview. Elon, thank you so much for bringing us into the meeting here. I'm going to do something no anchor ever does. I'm not going to talk.
What?
For as long as possible.
You're talking right now.
I'm going to let you run your meeting, and then I'll interrupt when I'm bored. So take it away.
So, like a board meeting.
Like a board meeting. Exactly.
All right. Well, I guess we normally go around the table, say what do we get done this week?
Want to go this way?
Sure. No, we start with you.
Sure. So actually, a lot of great work at the Treasury this week. One of the crazy things with regards to the Treasury is that when a payment is made, and the computers at the Treasury actually pay about $5 trillion per year, like crazy amounts, there was formerly not a budget code on there. So if a payment was made, you didn't know actually what it was for. It could have been for anything. Yeah. There was a $4 billion COVID fund in the Department of Education, and there was no receipts required, so people could just draw down on it. And when people looked into it, this wasn't us, this was before us, they found that money was being used to rent out Caesar's Palace for parties, rent out stadiums, et cetera. And so the one change that Doge made with the Department of Education is we had the simple requirement that if you draw down money, you must first upload a receipt. That was the only change that was made. You must upload your receipt. And upon doing so,
yes,
nobody drew down any money anymore.
Yes, but
I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with that. That seemed like it's fair, right? Seemed fair. You just got to upload a receipt. You can't just cash out bread without showing proof. Once again, that's our money that people just pulling from.
we didn't say that we'd check the receipt. You could send a fake receipt. You could send a picture of your dog. Anything.
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 I don't think you should have said that.
But as soon as we asked for anything at all, suddenly the requests were like, oh, we don't need it anymore. Huh, that's interesting.
They were renting Caesar's Palace.
Yes, they were like basically partying on the taxpayer money.
Stadiums.
Yes.
Leasing stadiums.
Leasing stadiums.
For what?
For parties, basically.
For parties.
Yes.
That's a...
Now, I'm not going to lie. The one thing that when we're listening to this and when they say certain stuff, sometimes it's so hard to believe because it's like, bro, y'all really was letting them get down like that? Like you can't prosecute nobody? Like who is doing this? Like that's really what I be thinking. Who is doing this? Because how in the hell do you rent out Caesar's Palace and nothing happens from it? Like nobody goes to jail for misappropriating funds or nobody got to pay restitution or nothing like that. Like how does this happen? Like I genuinely want to know that. Do y'all even care?
Big party.
Big party.
You'd think if you were stealing, you'd start small.
They do start small. But then what happens is over the years, so generally the fraud starts out small and they try to hide it. But then year after year, if nobody stops the fraud, it gets more and more brazen. And every year it gets bigger.
True that.
Until they're literally renting out stadiums. Like
what's that, $1 million to rent out a stadium?
Fraud in flagrante delicto, okay? We're talking at scale.
This is driving me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
When you find these things, do you guys get mad? You're like, yes, I got one. How does it make you feel?
It's so common.
It's so common.
You're like used to it.
I mean, you just get
so numb to it.
Unfortunately, like the 100th time you've heard it, it's hard not to get a little numb.
Yeah.
You know, but and by the 200th time, you're like, well, okay, it's just another day at the office.
We checked, is the Small Business Administration giving loans to dead people over the age of 120? The answer was yes, and it was around $330 million in total. So
people with a birthday that could not possibly be real.
Yeah.
Meaning they're over 100. They're 115 years old or older. The oldest living American is 114. So it's safe to say if anybody is in the system as 115 years or older, that is fake.
So just by sharing a database and looking at Social Security numbers that showed that at the time of the loan, they had listed as over 115 years old, or actually under 11. We didn't even check for under 18.
Babies and dead
Under 11 years old. That's pretty clear.
Babies
right?
and dead people were getting loans.
That was $660 million.
And also people with birth dates in the future.
What does that mean?
Well, in one, I mean, I think the birth date, I think in one case was like
Fetuses were getting
no, not
loans.
even. No, really, sort of you're talking about like your great grandchildren, like with the birth date, like I think it was like 2165. So more than a century from now was the.
I mean, basically in a nutshell, all he really saying is people was finessing the hell out of the government. Now, I'm not gonna lie, because I think about this in a few different ways. One, I really be wanting to see like the proof. Like besides, of course, publishing everything on Doge website and everything like that. I really be wanting to see like show the computer screenshot where it shows the date, the how much was getting sent out. Like that's just me personally, because it's kind of like a bro. Like seriously, y'all niggas was letting them finesse the fuck out of y'all like that. Like these, as they say, fraudsters. Y'all really was letting them get down on y'all. Like that shit look bad on us as a whole country, because it's like, damn, the America, which is supposed to be like the leader in all this, and we supposed to get all this money, y'all letting motherfuckers finesse the fuck out of the government. And in essence, for us as the taxpayers, we'll sit here and be like, some people will be like, oh, it's bullshit or whatever. My thing is like, bro, fuck all that. Show the proof, and then whoever did it, go get them niggas, bro. Like, get our money back. And I don't know, put it into some. My thing is put it in some type of infrastructure, so the American people who are out here trying to thrive, trying to get to certain places in life, put it in a fund to where they can benefit, bro. Because that it just don't make sense. And the reason why I can't just sit here and look at it as if and just automatically go to like what Bernie Sanders say where they lying or some shit like that. I remember one time he was like he don't even really know, but he went off into a tangent. Why would they lie? Because it would make them look bad. Like, do y'all think about that? Like, damn, they just gonna get up here and say some bullshit, and they got to be lying. But it's like, why lie? Like, it doesn't make them look good, and they still gonna be rich at the end of the day. It's not like, you know what I'm saying, they come in here doing this as if it's like, oh, I'm a one up or something like that by coming to do this, bro. They losing money like a motherfucker. So yeah, I don't think that they're lying. However, we're going to move over to our next topic of the show. Now, listen, guys. So it is, what is it, 10:58? We're not going to fly through this, but this is the turn up hour right now. I know this is shit that y'all actually come for. Y'all come for the ratchet shit. Y'all don't really come for the intellectual stuff. And I get it. Everybody, intellectual stuff. I think I'm gonna start doing something different. I think I'm gonna switch up to having the politics and all that. I'm gonna pre-record that. But around this time, when I come on here, I'm just gonna come on here with the ratchet shit. What y'all think? Let me know what y'all think would be more entertaining for y'all, just to come with the ratchet shit. And I will. I'm cool with that if that's what y'all want. Next topic. Damn, did the screen get dark? So, man left his girl because she slept with 60 people. Whoo. Can y'all say nasty? Can y'all say nasty? That's all I need to that's all I need y'all to say. Just disgusting, despicable. Oh, right. Now listen, if you a female and you didn't got your cheeks clapped, my bad for saying that wrong, that many times, and you feel some type of way, keep it to yourself. I don't really care. I ain't gonna lie to you. And the reason I don't care about it is because it's nasty, bro. I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. It's nasty. Hold on, we about to bring this video up. Don't even trip. Y'all know these computers a little slow. So we about to jump right into it. Hold on. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me put some pimping in it. No, not that video. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Bring this up one time for the one time. For the 9-9.
Let me tell y'all while I'm single on this Sunday morning. Long story short, me and Dude get into it about a question. We're having this debate about men and women and men are the prize, blah, blah, blah. So then he asks, okay, how many bodies you got? Mind you, we already had this conversation at least 3 times. I have no problem being open and transparent. So I'm like, what's the question? Because now I'm irritated because why are you asking this question again? So I'm like, the number 60, like, what's the follow-up question?
Y'all heard her, right? I just want to make sure y'all heard her. She said 60. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's continue.
We go back and forth about the number of bodies. Mind y'all, I got 4 kids, 3 baby daddies, 1 ex-husband. Been with Dude over a year now.
60 bodies, 4 kids, 3 baby daddies. Ex-husband. Now, my only question is this. Did the husband come like first, like at the first kid? Or did the husband come somewhere after? And I'm going to talk about why in a minute.
You knew this when you got with me, bro. So you at least know I got 3 confirmed bodies. If that was such an issue, why would you even move forward in a relationship? You asking this question a year later for like the 5th time already? So now we get into it because I said 60. I'm like, okay, but what's the follow-up question? Does the number really affect the question that you're going to ask? What's the question? Now there's no question and we're arguing about bodies. Mind you, I'm 35 years old. He's 4 years older than me, 5 years older than me, so y'all do the math. When the last time somebody asked you how many bodies you got? Like, that should have been asked on day 1. So now we arguing about this. Bad, right? Now he's telling me, oh, bitch, nobody ever took you serious. You got 4 kids, 3 baby daddies. Ain't nobody ever made you a wife. Mind you, I'm divorced. So now.
Also, don't forget, she said dog was with her for like a year. Don't forget that.
I'm like, oh, okay. You've been waiting to say this shit. You've been waiting to get this off your chest. And I've been real humble, cute, and ladylike. But now, oh, what's up? Come back for part 2, y'all.
My friend John just posted a video,
So,
and it's not just posted.
Pete. All right. I had to take the shades off, right? So, listening to that, right? At first, when you listen, because it's kind of like you be flabbergasted a little bit, right? At first, sitting there listening to it, it's like, wait a minute, hold on, shorty. One, I don't even understand how women feel okay to bring some shit to the internet, because it's like, my dog, you said you slept with 60 people, and then she said I think she said she's like 35. 60 people. Now, of course, you got some people that got way more bodies on them. But at what point do you as a woman just sit back and think like, damn, bro, this shit is nasty? Like, even if you had one dude that you smashed regularly just throughout the years, like it was like, you know what? Relationships, I'm going in and out of relationships or whatever. But while I'm not in a relationship, I'm only gonna smash one dude. While I'm dating, I'm only gonna smash one dude. That's it. Like, it's no strings attached. I'm just gonna fuck the one dude. Why is that a bad idea? Because to rack up so many bodies, bro, like, I get it. Like, some people say they try to say, don't ever ask a woman her body count, in which I kind of agree and I disagree. But I agree to a certain extent, because it's kind of like one of those, when you ask them that, are they really gonna tell the truth? And even if they tell the truth, like, do you really believe what they saying? You feel what I'm saying? But nevertheless, I went and found, Ogre video, and I actually went to found her part 2, and I think it was a part 3. Bro, why she said that not only did the dude, he knew all of this. He knew her body count. He knew, according to her in the video, he knew, about the kids. He knew everything because they've been knowing each other for 17 years. 17 years. But now, after listening to it and actually hearing it, right? If everything is true about what she said, one, yeah, she nasty. It is what it is on that one. Because when a woman rack up a certain body, it's just ugh. Like when I very first saw the video and heard it, soon she said the number, I said ugh. Like that's, to me, that's disgusting. Like ugh. But the dude is a ham. Like he a hot ass mess, bro. Like you're not a top tier dude because like let's have a conversation. Because I had to have this conversation a few times, talking to some people. When a woman shoots a kid out of that womb, it's kind of like that's one of the greatest things you could do for a man, right? As a woman, is of course to be his support system, to be, his helpmate, to be there to support him and to follow and build whatever he's building. That's one of the greatest things you could do as a woman. Everything else that y'all think is great for y'all, it's like you were lied to. Because I mean, you just was like you not building infrastructure. You not building societies. Like societies are not built off women. Societies are built off men, strong men. Strong men protect, strong men build, strong men provide, all that shit. Now, I'm not saying that women can't go do their own thing too. Yes, you can go work and all like that, but in general, women don't want to like work for the rest of their life. Like, do you think you're gonna be a 55-year-old woman talking about some, yeah, I'm out here busting my ass and hustling hard and I'm building this and all? No, that's not a typical thing. It's like, to the ones that do it, more power to you. But it's certain, everybody got their own role. But for the dude that was with Shorty, for him to try to go off on her, dog is a fucking lame for that. Because if you've known Shorty for 17 years, you've been with her for a year, my nigga, you knew she had four kids already. So you knew that. I'm pretty sure you knew she was married. Sure she said the 3 bodies or whatever. So one of the dudes she had 2 kids with. You knew all this, but nigga, you was there playing stepdaddy after all them niggas been there. Like, you not top tier, dog. You you're low tier, bro. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, you low tier. I don't care what. No, like nobody can say nothing about that in regards to like, oh, she's doing her thing, or oh, he's this not a bum ass nigga. Like, and I'm not talking about just financially. I'm just talking about like mentally, bro. Like that doesn't make sense. That's all I'm gonna say. It doesn't make sense. And then he went hard on her. It's like, my nigga, that was your girl for a long time. It wasn't like you was there just to have a fun time. Like, you was there for a long time. And I guess your feelings was certain. Like, you competing with all them dudes that came before you. All them dudes that came before you, you was competing with them, against them. And I just don't. I don't get how you could be okay with that. I would never be okay with competing against a whole bunch of niggas for a girl that supposedly I got now. And I'm not even gonna hold you up. Like, it's just certain stuff, like, as a man, I can't deal with when it comes to a woman, But at the end of the day, I think, I wasn't really designed to, be in them streets like that. I was designed to be with my one woman that I would now. Honestly, that's what I believe. Truly. What y'all think about that? I know, some people, they get in their feelings or whatever, but we can have real conversations and have a truthful conversation, because there's nothing wrong with that, at least, right? But now I got another one for y'all. I'm about to bring this up right now. Let's bring this up. So on this one, this dude said that you have to humble yourself in order for you to be a stepdaddy. Now, I just want y'all to think about that for a second before I even bring the video up. You have to humble yourself in order for you to be a stepdaddy. Let's get into it.
7 years ago, I was single with no kids. And now I'm waking up super early to go on a surprise Starbucks run for my wife and all her kids. Thank you very much.
Just listen to the words. My wife and all her kids.
Thank you. Have a good one. 7 years ago, my coffee used to only cost like $3, and now it costs about $45. $45 on a good day. But 7 years ago, I was single with no kids, and I had no major responsibilities. I was only responsible for myself. Now I'm married with 4 stepkids, and my wife and I had 1 kid together. So I'm going to be very vulnerable with you right now, and I'm going to speak to all the step parents, stepmoms, stepdads, and anybody who's just considering being with somebody who have kids and baby dads. You have to be mature.
Okay, first off, before we even fully dive into it, right? Before we dive fully into the video, I want to ask y'all a question. What's up, son? Close the door, baby. What? All right, see you later. My question to y'all is simply this. Even with the consideration of being with somebody with kids, if you and I'm speaking specifically to men because for women it's different. But for you as a man, why would you want to sign up for that? That's a question I really need you to think about, but then answer. Why? Is it that that's like your best choice? Like that's your best option? Like you like especially if you don't got no children. That's all you could get, is what you're telling me. That's the best option you can get. Now, I'm not going into the whole, women who have children, they show their great mothers and all, man, fuck all that. Because as a dad, bro, I know the feeling of having children. I know the feeling of being responsible for these children. And these are my children. And I'm going to say it over and over again, because, they growing pains and all like that. I'd be ready to throw these damn kids away. And they're mine. This man said 4. Then he had his with her. So he's 5th in line. Now I know for the people who, is so women centric and women is God and women is all this. And, people try to say, oh, well, you got here from a woman and woman created life. And without sperm, you can't get life. I just want to say that, why would you sign up for what he's about to say? That's just my overall general question. Why?
You have to think logically and understand that you have to take other people's perspective and put it into consideration. If she's co-parenting, you gotta let her co-parent. If she needs to talk to her baby daddy in regards to a decision that needs to be made about their kid, you sit back and shut up. Do not expect to be a part of a step family and think that you can run that family however it is you want.
So you got to understand code words, right? You have to. What he's basically saying is, you as a man, and that you're in that family. It ain't your family. It's that family, right? It's their family. It's her family. He's out surprise morning coffee. So not only are you running the errands, you don't make significant decisions on your own. You don't lead that household. 9 times out of 10, she do. Granted, I understand the co-parenting component of it. If she needs to have a conversation in regards to the child, she needs to talk to the dad. But then also understand this, my fellas. That means another man will always have influence in your house. So no matter how hard you work, no matter how much money you make, no matter what you do, another man has influence in your household. When those children get out of line, you really can't do shit. It's like you can, but you can't because you're gonna have to answer to their daddy. And hopefully their daddy is not one of the ones that's ready to crash out whenever. But that's what the fuck he's telling you. So I want y'all to understand it, because when you hear people talk and then a lot of people champion the bullshit, they don't give you the full picture. But that's the picture where we at right now. Other men will have influence in your household. But let's continue.
You have to understand that you're entering a family where one of the parents has had to take care of the kids all by themselves, and for you to go in there and tell them what to do, you're mistaken. My 4-foot, 11-inch wife,
Which means she's the boss, not you, homie.
who had 4 children, was afraid to let men around her kids.
She should, because their dad should be the only one around them kids.
Oldest child at the time when I started dating her was 10 years old. So
Fuck
for 10
that.
years, she's been taking care of kids. No man to tell her what to do, what to say, how to do.
Which 9 times out of 10 means she's masculine as fuck because she had to do it all on her own. Which means she and that boy telling his ass what to do.
It was all her. I couldn't enter that woman's life and say, I need you to discipline your kids this way. While I'm working, you need to clean the house and have dinner ready for me when I get home. I don't want you talking to the other kid's parent. Now, I'm going to tell you the secret and the mentality that you need to have when you're entering a step family. You 100% have to be humble all the time.
Bro, listen to the shit he's saying, dog. Like, when I originally saw this video, I'm just like, nigga, what? Like, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I personally cannot stand bitch dudes. I can't. You gotta humble yourself. Not and understand where I'm coming from. I'm not saying nothing like necessarily bad as far as humbling yourself. I'm not saying that. But just the thought process to say, my nigga, I gotta humble myself to come in another person's, I don't know if it's another man or other men families, for me to provide for them, and then I have to humble myself for them. Like, this is not the type of dude that should be out here giving advice to younger men. Because it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you shouldn't be trying to fucking take over another man's family. It just doesn't make sense. Because the dudes that's out here that's about that shit, that's getting to the money, that's building, that's innovating, that's doing all that, that's really like about it. Why the fuck would they want? Why would they want to take over another man's family? That's a genuine question. And then it's 2 parts to it too. One, 9 times out of 10, bro, you not better than the baby daddies. You not. You probably lower tier. Because if you was higher tier, you came into the situation with no kids. That's a clear indication, bro. You not that guy. You're below. And she probably had to settle for you because the niggas that she actually wanted probably, she couldn't deal with, and vice versa. So she had to settle for you. But the lower tier dude is the one giving the advice to other dudes. No, we don't give 2 fucks about what you're talking about. I always looked at like like growing up, I always looked at dudes like, because I didn't have like role models growing up at all, because all the dudes around me, they just, and I'm not trying to say it in a bad way or like me trying to be arrogant or nothing like that. Their lifestyles, life in general, I fucking despised. I was like, bro, I don't want to be like none of these niggas when I grow up. None of them. I could not imagine being a young dude, 14, 15, whatever, listening to a nigga like this. Because even though at those age and within that age range, I haven't experienced life yet, but I know for a fucking fact I'm not about to go date a woman that got all them fucking kids just to be stepdaddy to all them kids. I knew that for a fucking fact. So me humble myself to go date a chick and to enter her family, and because at that point it's like, what's your job in that relationship? What is your job in that family? Because from my understanding, you as a man, it's your job to lead. And if you have a family, it's your job to lead the family. So is that in his regard, is that not the job? Like real shit. Is that not the job to lead the family? How can you lead the family when you got your wife? You can't tell your wife what to do. You gotta basically bow down to them. Like, so what's your job here? I genuinely want to know.
What do I mean by that? Take your pride and throw it away. All you have to do is love that person and contribute on top of what they already have. For any man out there saying I can't do that, that's not masculine, bro. You better leave that woman alone and stay the hell away.
Let me tell y'all while I'm single on this Sunday morning. Long story short, me and Dude get into it about a question. We're having this debate about men and women and men are the prize, blah, blah, blah. So then he asks, okay, how many bodies you got? Mind you, we already had this conversation at least 3 times. I have no problem being open and transparent. So I'm like, what's the...
You know, one thing that I learned just in general, right? I learned that by me being, doing the YouTube thing and stuff like that, like, they say the internet is not a real place. But I'm going to have to disagree with that. The internet is a real place. But it's a place where people, how can I say it? For the people that's like, when you go outside, you don't always see like the dumb shit that people say unless you go in like certain areas. But when people come to the internet, the shit that they talk about, it will blow your mind, because it's like, bro, like this, like the stuff that they say, this is the type of stuff that you put in your diary. It's not the type of stuff that you actually say out loud. But these people come here and they say the shit out loud, and it just make you sit back and think like, damn, bro, did you really think about that before you said it? Genuinely, did you really think about it before you said it? I genuinely don't think they do. Or they think that they sound cool or some shit, but it's like, nah, bruh. It just don't make sense. I'm just gonna say, but now I digress. That's all I can say. It just don't make sense, man. But let me know what y'all think. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Tell me, do you agree? Do you disagree? Would you put yourself in that situation as a man? Would you go find a woman? I'm not gonna say fine, but let's say you ran into a woman, you bumped into her or whatever, and she had 4 kids. Would you make her have a 5th one? Me personally, I ain't messing with no chick that got kids. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm not like I don't like the thought of competing with a dude in regards to a woman. I don't like the idea of having another man have influence in my household. It's not gonna work. I'm not going to have to deal with a woman who think that I can't tell her what to do. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with a woman who basically thinks that, oh, I don't need no man. Can't do it. I'm just not gonna do it. I think in life, you just make certain decisions for your own life and for your own self, and then you get there certain results. I could not imagine taking care of 4 kids that didn't come from me, sharing my resources with these children, and when they grow up, especially like he said when he met her, she had a 10-year-old. I know for a fact that 10-year-old is looking at that nigga like, bro, you can't come in here and tell me shit. I guarantee in that household, he has to ask them to go to bed. I guarantee it. hey guys, it's time for bed. Could you please turn off your light and your TV and make sure you go to bed so you can get a good night's rest, guaranteed. And then he gets up early in the morning before work, take his ass out to go get the coffee because she's still in bed, she's still asleep. He said he can't tell her, clean the house and have his food cooked and then which realistically, I really don't think people do that shit for real. Like I know we hear that a lot with the whole cooking and cleaning and all like that. But I really don't think that motherfuckers is like, yo, make sure my food is on the table when I get home. I've never seen nobody do that or ever say that. Out of all the people that I've encountered in life, I've never heard that or seen it. Legit. If y'all have, let me know. Cause I really want to know, like, is that like a real thing? But what Dog was talking about, whatever, bro. So, like I said, guys, make sure y'all like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. The Discord link will be up within the next few days. I'm about to get that finished tonight. I just had to get a few more things taken care of. But make sure y'all drop them comments and let me know what y'all think. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I will get at y'all next Friday, 10 p.m. Yo.